Good evening, everyone. It is Stacy Booth, and tonight it is actually October 29th, 2015, and we are closing in on October. And we are closing in on Halloween, which so many people indulge in Halloween and overdo it, and then they feel really guilty come Monday morning, which is great because Monday is the 1st of November and kicking off our team cup or team fall classic. So if you don't have a team already, make sure that you buddy up with 2 other people. So it's not 5, it's only 3 of you together. I think the more people we get on a team, the better. I posted about that earlier today in Team Unstoppables, as well as a form that I want you guys to check out. It's really just focusing on writing down 3 people's names every day. Instead of doing 5 or 10 or 25, like I just want you to focus on 3 people and keep track of that, because a lot of times we say we're doing really well and we're not actually writing it down or tracking it. And many days I would dare to say that you're not actually getting 3 for some of those items. So really focusing on just 3. Don't overdo it. Just 3 people in each one of those spots, and really track it for yourself every single day. And if you want to email me, that would be great. I would love to see it. But really hold yourself accountable to filling out that sheet every single day. So we are going to be starting an 8-week series of calls. I got back from, it's been a crazy October. I got back from Vegas like 5 days ago, and then I went to Vermont. But I haven't got to talk to you guys because I've been so crazy, and I wanted to tell you that the GoPro was amazing. I don't even know how to describe what I went through because it was just an emotional and charged event, and I didn't really know what I was getting myself into when I signed up for it, which kind of goes to show you guys how I coach. No one really tells me what to do or what I'm doing. I just say, I'm just going to do it. And that's exactly what the GoPro was. I had no idea what it was, but it turned out to be 12 different motivational speakers. It was just amazing. So I wanted to focus on some different tasks for you guys. And we're going to start with the very first one, which is finding people. And I'm not necessarily going to say, this is how you find them, this is where you find them, because I have a lot of calls on that. I have how to do Pinterest. I have how to invite on Facebook. I am learning to do Instagram, which I was really hesitant to do, so maybe I'll do a call about Instagram at another time. But I have a lot of those calls. So this call is going to be, once you find them, once you've messaged them that, hey, Ashley, I see you liked House of Cards, me too, and you ask them a question. Or you found them on Pinterest, and you say, hey, I see you like, or I found your kids' craft board, and you ask them a question. I want to dig deeper into what you do next, because I think a lot of you are really pretty good about finding people and messaging people, but it's that what comes next part is where you guys might be struggling. And I found this by saying to so many of you, pretend like you're at a party and you're introducing yourself to someone. How would you do that? Well, I was at a wedding this weekend, and it was seat yourself kind of thing, and everyone was like piling together with the people they knew. They were not intermingling at all. And then you see people and they just don't introduce themselves, and they just don't know how to do that. So I'm like, Stacy, what are you doing to your poor coaches? You're telling them to go meet people and pretend they're at a party, but how many of you guys are sitting on the sidelines at a party scared to introduce yourself? So I really wanted to kind of talk about that, because it's really important for you guys to practice this. And I want you to know that if you message a whole bunch of people and you are awful at it, it's totally okay, because you're either gonna learn from the experience or you're gonna win from the experience. That's the only thing that's gonna happen. So failing miserably is great because you learn something from it. You say, okay, well, what did I do wrong there? Why didn't that work, kind of thing. So you can move forward. And if it goes great, then you win. So I want you guys to think about that when you're doing this. Practice a lot. If you message someone and it goes terribly, well, then there's someone else to message. So with that being said, I'm really excited. Can you tell? This whole experience has been crazy, crazy. But I wanted to talk to you guys about that. So first off, if you want to make this business work, you need to get cool with this part of it. You have to put yourself in front of a lot of new people every single day. Add new people to your network. You need to get your head right with how you're going to go about doing this. So prospecting is something so many people don't like. They say, I don't want to prospect. I don't want to get into that, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's kind of like going to work. If you say, I don't want to go to work, I hate my job, how's your work going to go? It's going to go pretty crappy, right? It is, because you're psyching yourself up for it to be terrible. So I want you guys to think about prospecting in a different way. You really need to think about the fact that you're going to connect with someone and you could change their life, or they could change yours. That very well happens so many times, where you will meet someone and they can affect your life in so many different ways. They could be a mom that's going through the same thing with their toddler, and they found a solution and they share it with you, and you try it and it works for you. So remember that, you guys. Prospecting is the best part of our job because we get to meet new people and talk to them. So I need you guys to really get your head right about that and say, okay, I'm going to love prospecting. It's going to be my favorite part of what I'm doing, and really get right with it. So get excited about meeting new people. When you look for people who have similar likes and dislikes, you're setting yourself up to meet some pretty awesome people. So get excited about that. You can never have too many friends, but you have to find outlets to find people who truly are like you, because then it will be fun to talk to them, not just a job. So you can't go out there and just look for some, like, okay, I'm just going to prospect today, and you kind of choose something that doesn't really interest you. You need to choose things that really interest you, because then when you're talking about that, knitting or whatever it is, you're actually interested in it, and the other person is interested in it. You can have that solid conversation of getting more than 3 or 4 lines out. You need to really be interested in it, because when you're interested in it and they're interested in it, there's more likely a chance that you're going to form a friendship because of that. So don't just go willy-nilly, I'm going to find whatever today, and not really think about where you're finding the people. Really think about what kinds of things you want to talk to people about, what you're interested in talking about. If you're not interested in talking about it, you're not going to talk very long. Before you start prospecting, you have to get your mind right, like I had already said. It's really, really important, because the intent behind what you're doing matters, and people know that. So if you're going in really negative, they're going to feel that really negative. If you're going in to meet them just so that you can sell to them, they're going to feel that. You need to get that intent right. You need to get your mind right. And I'm going to say that a lot tonight, guys, because it's true. Getting your mind into that place and believing in yourself is the most powerful tool. And all 12 of the people that I listened to speak at the GoPro conference, all of them talked about mindset, all of them. So I'm pretty confident in saying that your mindset has a big part of being successful or not. So make sure that you guys are really thinking about that. All right, so I posted earlier today about how important things are easy to do, but they're also just as easy not to do. Making new connections is at the top of the list for easy to do and not to do. So is, this is something that you have to do every day, even when you don't feel like it. You know, Tony Robbins was one of the speakers, and he was saying how you can change your emotion by motion. So he was talking about, like, if you're in a really crappy mood and you have to do some prospecting or meet some new people, you don't want to continue that crappy mood right into your work. So turn on some music that really excites you, and like literally get crazy, like jump up and down and be like, yeah, and like do all craziness. I can guarantee you that that will like transform you. That will make you smile. Put a big smile on your face. That smile is going to show through when you're talking to people. So make sure you get it right before you go doing that. But it's something you have to do. As a leader, I always do things I don't want to do because I want to leave that example for you guys. So as you leaders who are on this call, you need to think about that too. Do I want my coaches making new connections every single day? The answer is yes. So does that mean I need to make new connections every single day? The answer is yes. You have to do that. So I was talking earlier about doing that form and writing down 3 people's names. I want you to really think long and hard about this, but I want you to pick a number that's something that you can do every single day. So if it's 3 new connections a day, and you can consistently do that every single day without getting overwhelmed by it and just doing it, then 3 is your number. If it's 5, 10, 15, 25. But if you do 25 and it overwhelms you the next day, and then you don't do it for a couple of days, and then you do 25 is not your number. I want you consistently adding to new people to your network. Because if you're doing that and you're talking to them correctly, you're going to have someone in your pipeline consistently. So you're always making Success Club. You're always helping new people get started. You're always filling those needs. But you can't fill those needs, and you won't always make Success Club if your pipeline is not filled with people who are interested and ready to get signed up. So it's something that has to be done consistently all the time without fail, even on days when you don't want to do it. And it really doesn't take that long to go and message 5 new people, but choose your number wisely. And if you want to post your number below, once I post this saying what your number is, that's great. For me, 25 is my number. I have to do 25 every day. Sometimes I go until that little picture comes up, but I usually will just do 25. And if on vicious days, I'll do it until that picture comes up. So not only are you going to be meeting new people, but you need to make your page content that's of value to the people that are like you. So really think about this. When you are meeting new people and you're talking to people on your page, which I'm going to talk about that in a minute, so you're forming these new conversations with people. You might even have gotten only the answer, yes, that's my fitness board or whatever. They're going to instantly go look at your Facebook page. They're going to look at your wall. They're going to look at your cover photo. They're going to look at your profile picture. They're going to look at all these things before they respond to you. I can guarantee it. Because how many people have you gotten a strange message from and you're like, I'm going to go check out who this is and what they're doing. And if you see that they are like, I can't think of another person, like some kind of sales rep on the side. You see that, you're like, no, I'm not going to message them back. So think about that. And then look at your page and say, what kind of value am I adding to the people like me? So when I'm posting content on my page, 90% of the content that I'm posting is something to do with me in that moment. Like I need a lift up about, I don't know, like I'm struggling with something, a belief. So I post a belief post, something that's helping me. So I'm trying to find people who are like me. So I'm posting things for me. Does that make sense? So when you're posting on your, like doing Hootsuite and stuff like that, and you want to use someone else's content, that's fine. But make sure that it's content that really reflects you, because that's what you need. You need that posts and those posts on your page to be something where they're like, yeah, this person's really cool. I want to talk to this person. They'll have a conversation with you. If you look real, if you look like a fun person. But if you're negative on your page and you're posting like really weird stuff, you're gonna be like, I'm not gonna message that person back. So if you're messaging a lot of people and you're not getting a lot of response, maybe it's your page that's speaking for you, not that you're doing something wrong with sending out messages, but maybe it's your page. Maybe it's your profile picture. Maybe it's your cover photo. Maybe you come off too salesy on your page. So that's a part of the conversation that's not even happening. Like you're not having that part of the conversation, but they're seeing that. So I really want you guys to think about that. So next part is, how do you talk to these people? So that's a big part of it. So let's just say I message someone, and we'll use it in a fitness type setting. No, we won't use fitness. We'll use a mommy board. So I found someone on Pinterest and I messaged them about crafts with their kids. So I had asked them a question. I found your mommy craft board. How often do you do crafts with your kids? Something like that. So they messaged me and they're like, oh, I usually just pin my stuff. And that's their answer. So at this point, you want to start asking them questions. because people really like talking about themselves if you don't know that already. And if someone asks you questions, you get kind of excited about the fact they're asking you questions and you answer them. So you need to ask them questions, leading questions, finding things out about them. So if they say they don't do boards very often or their pins very often, say, oh, that's too bad. Do you work outside the house or are you a stay-at-home mom? It's a really great question because they are a parent and they don't have a lot of time to do this board stuff. So find out what they do for work. They say, oh, you know, I work at such and such a drag. I miss my kids. There's an opportunity for you to talk about Beachbody, not right now. If someone gives you like this huge red flag of, I could benefit from Beachbody, please don't go in right then. Keep asking them some questions. You know, oh, what don't you like about your job? How many hours are you working with your job? Ask them questions. This is really important. You need to just keep asking questions. And then they may say, well, what do you do for work? And then you can tell them what you do. I always ask about kids, like how old the kids are. But when I ask about children, I always tell them about mine. So like, oh, do you have children? I have Natalie, who's 7, and Gavin, who's almost 6. That way they don't feel like I'm this creeper that's like asking them about their kids, because people get really on guard quickly about their children. So you can disarm them by telling them that you have children. So that's one way, asking questions. So ask questions about their family. Ask questions about what they like to do for fun. I always use the saying, what do you like doing for fun? Because I feel like I'm in a rut and doing the same types of stuff all the time. People give me the weirdest things, like disc golf. Someone told me about disc golf. I'm like, I've never heard of disc golf, but apparently it's a thing. Like you throw Frisbees, and I have no idea. So I learned this from one of my prospects who likes to do that. And then I'm like, oh, well, tell me more about this disc golf stuff. So you're asking them about things that they like. So things that they have fun doing. If you ask that, 90% of the time they say, well, what do you like to do for fun? And I always say, I love biking and hiking, pretty much anything active. I love working out, that kind of stuff. That usually opens a door. They say, oh, you like working out? I really need to work out. Those types of things. These are questions that lead them where you want them to go, but you're not coming right out and doing it. Also, what you're posting on your page is great, because sometimes when you post something about a challenge group or coaching or something like that, a lot of times you'll be having a conversation with these people, asking them questions, and they'll come to you and say, hey, I saw your post about this exercise thing. Can you tell me more about it? So many people do that because I'm just having a conversation, getting to know them. I'm not hurrying getting to know them. And you guys need to remember that. Hurrying them, and if they give you that spot to, really invite them right away, if you take a little bit more time to get to know them before inviting them, even if their need is present, they will respect that so much more, because they know that you could have asked them at that point, but instead you decided to ask them more questions about them. So if they do say that they want to work out, say, oh, well, what kinds of things have you been doing to, get your health and fitness back on track? Ask them questions. This is the part where I think a lot of you struggle, is because you're like, I'm not really sure what to talk to them about. I feel like I'm going back and forth with these like nonsense conversations. But if you really ask questions and direct them, you're going to be successful with the conversation. Also, write down questions that work really well for you. I use a lot of the same questions. I just save them in like a Google Doc, and I just copy and paste them to get the conversation going, just so that I know more about them. Those are really great ways to get you going. Let's see. I lost my notes. I totally went rogue on my notes, by the way. Yep. Yeah, so just talk about, what you do for work, what you like to do for fun. all those types of things. Those are all really good leading questions. Are you a stay-at-home mom? What do you like to do for fun with your kids? All these kinds of things are great questions to ask because it leads them where you want to. Another thing is that it's kind of on the lines of inviting, and I posted a huge long thing about this the other day, but when you're going through the inviting steps, so say you have really successful conversations with these people and you get to the point where you can invite them and you're following the invite steps and you get to the end where they're not responding to you anymore, really think about why they had asked or why you thought it would be good for them to join a challenge and really go back and understand them. I just had a girl who messaged me and wanted to sign up and wanted to join, and then when it came down to purchasing, she stopped messaging me, and it was because she was scared. So I need you guys to remember that when you're talking to these people and thinking about inviting them, it's really scary to make a change. It's really scary to become a Beachbody coach. It's really scary to put yourself out there. So remember that when you're talking to prospects, and kind of lay the groundwork as you're going, talking about, how you were nervous about getting started, or, sharing your experiences with them so that they know what they're feeling is normal. That's like a really big thing. Giving yourself ways to, relate to them is something really important. And then when you're having conversations with them, getting started, getting to know them, find things that you have in common with them and talk about that. If it's parenting, talk about those things. You just have to find a lot of questions and ask a lot of questions. And honestly, most of the time, I don't invite people during my conversation. It either comes around where they like something of mine and I ask them about that later, or they flat out ask me. So my conversations, I try to keep really light as far as not inviting them to anything right away. I really just want to take the time to get to know them. And as long as you're doing that every single day, and you don't have to do like super long comments back and forth, like paragraphs of things saying to these people to take forever, but there's definitely ways that you can move the conversation along. So think of your project for tonight is think of some questions that you can ask prospects that you can get to know them better. Think of places where things that you really like. If you enjoy doing crafting with your kids, then, maybe Pinterest kids craft boards would be a good place for you. Really think about places that really excite you, because the more you are interested in it, the better off you're going to be with these prospects and having better luck having the communication with them. And then really look at your Facebook page, because remember, when you're messaging these people and they're not responding to you, it might not be because they're not seeing it or because they don't want to answer the question that you asked, but they might just not like what they see on your Facebook page. So don't be too salesy on your Facebook page, because people will see that and think this is why she's messaging me. And if you get someone that messages you and says, are you trying to sell me something? I've had so many people say that right off the bat. I say, not really. I said, I'm just trying to get to know other moms who are like-minded like me. And I said, if I do have something that I could help you with, then I would more than love to help you. But no, I'm just trying to get to know you. So just kind of make those, if they ask you these questions, make sure that you're kind of making it light and airy. People will often say, do I know you? Or how do I know you? Don't get discouraged by this or feel like you're doing something wrong or that they're even mad at you, because a lot of times they're just asking. And once you say, oh, I found your board on Pinterest and I thought I would say hi, hope that's okay, smiley face, 90% of the time they're like, oh yeah, that's cool, I just wanted to know. So don't take that the wrong way. And a lot of times we get nervous when someone says something like that to us. We're like, oh, they're going to be upset with me or whatever the case may be. So don't assume what the other person is thinking or feeling. Just try to make it light and airy and just tell them your intentions, which hopefully your intentions with prospecting is that you really do just want to meet some new people. And I got to talk to, and hopefully Heather signed up tomorrow. We have a new coach that should be signing up tomorrow. I got to talk to her today. She lives in Canada. And it's just so cool to meet other moms all over the country and get to know them. And a lot of my challengers have become friends that I message with all the time. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't have a ton of friends that I consistently talk to every single day. And this has brought so many amazing people in my life. So please, when you're thinking about prospecting, think about it in the sense that you're really just going out there to connect with someone who's a lot like you. And you never know, they could end up being your new best friend. And what better way is to work with people who you really like and are inspired by. So make sure that you're reaching out to those people that really connect with you. So that is my call for this evening. Does anyone have any questions?
No.
No. And that's okay that you were late. That's fine.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's totally fine. I appreciate you taking the time to get on. So yeah, you guys are both on Team Cups, correct? Or Fall Classics?
Yes, I am.
Awesome,
Yep.
awesome. So we still have 2 days left of this month, so let's not hold anything back. Invite and share and talk to people and just connect with as many people as you can, because the month is not over and there's people who really need to get started. And Halloween is coming, so you can say, if you order now, you'll get it and you'll be able to start right after Halloween. So use that because so many people overdo it on Halloween.
Yeah.
So, all right, ladies, well, you have a wonderful evening. Thank you for getting on, and I will be talking to you next week.
Thanks.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Good night. Bye.